Brother, what a weekend we've had over here when it comes to Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. There was a playable demo build of the newest version of Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, as well as an entire brand new trailer. Spider-Man leads the team titled The Amazing Guardians. Now, people have their opinions on the team, right? I think it's okay. I wanted more, right? As a Spider-Man fan, I would have loved to have had more spider people, or maybe even if they were gonna go the route of like defending, right? Like guarding things, whatever, right? Either do like 2 spider characters and 2 guardians, or do all spider people, or hell, do all street level, right? Do like Luke Cage, do Daredevil, do Punisher, Moon Knight, all that kind of stuff. But then that delves into like sort of other things. But I do not hate what we were like left with, right? I love Penny. Penny's awesome, and Marvel Rivals, it's great that she's being included in a lot of different things now. Obviously, Marvel Rivals is a huge thing. The movies is a huge thing, and now obviously she got herself a spot in a fighting game, which is super cool, right? Now we know that the Amazing Guardians is composed of Spider-Man as a team leader. We have Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. We have Star-Lord, Peter Quill, and obviously we have Penny Parker piloting Spider. And then we also know that there is a new stage, which is the Nowhere, right? Where you're on Nowhere. I guess you're in Nowhere, right? Like depending on if you want to say the stage or like the name. So obviously everybody was super excited for the character trailer, but then you're immediately met with this absolute baddie, bro. Absolute baddie. One of the elders of the universe, and that's what we sort of found out post this trailer launching. It was a kind of confirmation of a lot of people's theories when it came to this game, and it was that the elders of the universe were going to be involved in some way. And for those who don't know, you may not know the elders of the universe, but you may know some people in it, right? Because the Collector is one of those people, and you know that from the MCU, you know that from Marvel Rivals, if you play Marvel Rivals, right? Those are like a part of the elders of the universe, the Collector and the I'm blanking on the other one, the one that was in Thor Ragnarok. But those are considered the elders of the universe, right? And she is also one as well, but she's essentially the hype woman, right? She is the hype woman for the character known as Champion, right? And Champion is a character that a lot of people were theorizing from the previous trailer that we were gonna get because of the gauntlets on the on like the person that was choking out Gladiator, right? Because Gladiator was defending their Shi'ar like world, but then unfortunately seemingly died, right? Seemingly died on that exact trailer. So her name is the Promoter. That is who this girl is right here. She's one of the elders of the universe, and she essentially goes there to organize the tournament, right? That is what her job is, to set up this big tournament against like the strongest warriors against whatever planet she can find, right? So she's recruiting characters, and that's why she showed up to Earth, right? She tries to find like Earth's strongest characters in order to sort of try to start this whole tournament. And obviously our hero's gonna want to try to stop it. She's like, yeah. Like bring your like strongest characters, because you're gonna have a big ass tournament. And if y'all lose, guess what? Your whole her planet out of existence. It's just not there anymore. Obviously, we're introduced to Spider-Man, and of course, one of those things that this trailer revealed to us, besides obviously Spider-Man's voice actor Josh Keaton, who of course is a secular Spider-Man, we get a look at his brand new super later on in this trailer, and it looks absolutely phenomenal, man. Miss Marvel is found to be on the team as well. Both of these characters look pretty similar to what they did in their their beta playthroughs, right? Obviously, yep, there we go, the new super that Spider-Man has. It's so sick. The kind of oddball character of this entire team, right? If you go on Twitter, if you go on YouTube, everybody who's making videos about this announcement is like pointing the finger at Star-Lord. Cause why is he here, right? You would think maybe he got thrown in with Doom, maybe he gets thrown in with Cap, right? Maybe they do a hybrid of Avengers and Guardians, or hell, you could even put him with Ghost Rider. Maybe it's like some sort of weird like cosmic team, right? But no, he gets put with Spider-Man. He gets put with Spider-Man, Kamala, and Penny, which obviously we'll see here in a second. And it's like, it's just kind of weird. And that's the one thing I can agree on with a lot of people, right? With this game, I obviously #1 Tokon Glazer right here, right? For sure, that's never gonna be in question. But at the same time, even I'm like, huh? What? But I don't mind it, right? Because at least the rest of the team is okay, right? If Spider-Man has to bear the responsibility of having the weirdo team so that the other teams can be cool as hell, then that's fine with me. I could accept that that's what had to happen for the Avengers team, the Midnight Suns team, and Doctor Doom's team to be like absolutely like awesome, right? Like I could accept that, right? It's like another spider person. But we did get Star-Lord. Once again, gameplay looks pretty much the same. And of course, this happens. I have no clue who it is. And then I see the like the little jump up, and I immediately knew. I was freaking out. Unfortunately, it was 5 o'clock in the morning, so I couldn't freak out. But I knew as soon as I saw her, I was like, yep, that's Peni Parker. That is Peni Parker, and that threw me for a ride. I did not expect, out of all the Spider-Verse characters you could have put in there, that Peni would have made it. But I also did kind of was saying that, right? I was like, if it was a Spider-Verse team, who's like the most distinct character outside of like Miles and Gwen, right? I was like, oh, well, Peni, right? She's just got in Rivals. She's a super popular character because of like everything outside of the comics, and the comics as well too, right? The movies, obviously, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse boosted her popularity a shit ton. And then Rivals just kind of alley-ooped that shit and also continued to make her more popular with like different kinds of audiences, right? So it only made sense that if she was gonna get put into a fighting game and Tokon existed, it kind of went hand in hand, right? Like that was more of an inevitability than a like what if. So I personally, I think this is awesome. A lot of her kit is her playing in the mech itself, which obviously makes sense. That's like, how else are you gonna do Peni Parker? But one of the things that I love is that this mech that she's using, super spider-like, right? It's more so than like any other mech version of her that I've seen, right? The comics have a sort of an Evangelion sort of feel. The movie went with a more simplistic style because obviously you have to animate it. If you're gonna animate something, you need to simplify the design, even if it's a 3D model, because you don't want to be moving stuff around. And this one sort of also follows that philosophy, but also puts that Arxis style on it, right? It's like a Bedman situation where you're like a piloting character, but instead of being on the outside of the mech, you're inside of the mech, and the mech actually acts like a spider, right? So even in this screenshot right here, you can see the back sort of paneling of her mech acts as the abdomen of the spider. The main circle is like the head. The two front parts are actually like the little fangs, or like the mandibles that spiders have, and then of course the other limbs sort of just act like legs, and for her to move around with like wheels and whatnot. And she looks sick, man. Like she had a like, what is that, like almost like an exploding wheel. She brings out a little spider mech car that hits low. She has seemingly oh wait, that's cute. I didn't even see that before. She does a little thwip motion and the webs come out of her mech, and she sort of uses her hands to pilot the mech, so it's not like a Tron bot situation where she has to like use like lever and stuff like that, right? It seems like the robot can just sort of do things by command. Yeah, because look at, she has to like manually move her hands while in the mech to get it to do the things that she wants. So she has like a charging couple of punches, she can switch out. But we do get our first look at what presumably is Star-Lord's Tokon assemble, right? It's basically the Guardian ship, right? The Guardian ship that they use, that's the start of his Tokon assemble. That's how he starts his like big super, right? So see, right at the start, this has to be some kind of like super, right? It's either like a super install that she gets to use, or maybe it's like a weird like EX move. But you see that she's in the corner, she's just kind of standing there. You have a little drone at the bottom with like an antenna almost, and I think this like maybe controls how this big spider moves. Seems to stay on the screen very slightly, right? Like it slams, but then it turns around and it seems like the camera wants to go back to neutral. So maybe it's like a one-time use sort of tool, right? It's not something that you could use over and over again, or maybe just like, you know, have a combo with it, right? I think it's just like a one and done big slam. Maybe it's unblockable or something. I'm not too sure. But as you can see, the opponent gets webbed. So this robot comes out. She's able to drop down from the sky, slam you with like a shield. Spider-Man comes in with the assist. You're able to tag it again. Obviously in the background, there's a ton going on. The Nova Force are protecting, they're protecting nowhere, but I'm not sure from what, because there seems to be like some huge fight going on in the background as heads are getting thrown. And of course we see here a little ship pod with our boy Cosmo, which of course, if you have seen the Marvel Tokon stuff, you know that Cosmo is gonna be like a lobby pet that you're able to buy. You see Cosmo in there. You see another sticker for Lockjaw, which once again an Inhumans mention, and I'm just like, man, if they put an Inhuman in this game, that'd be kind of crazy. I know Kamala technically used to be an Inhuman, right? I think that's what it is, but then they changed her to be like a mutant, and you know, Marvel lore loves to change. We get to see the start of her super big, this is either a level 3 Oh, this is definitely level 3. Yeah, so you're gonna see the start of her level 3 animation, which is just like this big like spin into rocket fists. We got a big splash with the Amazing Guardians. That pretty much shocked everybody when it first came out. So this is gonna be her Tokon assemble, right? Every character is getting one. We saw Star-Lord's earlier in the trailers. I heard turning off her robot's inhibitors, right? Her the limit removal gets turned on, so it's like very sort of like Metal Gear Rising sort of thing, just like the consequences of that, because she slammed that button down. She wants to go crazy with the robot, you know, she's gonna beat the hell out of you. This is Spider-Man's ender for his Tokon assemble, mind you, because we did get to see that. I imagine this would also be Kamala's ender for her Tokon assemble, and then once again Star-Lord ends it by presumably, it's I think seemingly crashing into you, the player, with the spaceship, or using the burners, right, to burn you. And then Penny launches herself forward. Spider's going crazy, charges a big ball of electricity on Doctor Doom and blows him up. Like that's just, I also love the little detail that the spider eyes are kind of there too. It's so sick. This is such a good super. Yeah, but Penny Parker looks super sick. I'm very excited that they added her into a fighting game. I can't wait to actually get to play her. And seemingly, if you are going to Evo Japan, you're very lucky because you get to go and play this version. I have to sit here and wait like a chud until it comes out for another alpha, right, or a beta. But I'm just super excited that this game has sort of fixed its reputation in a way, I guess, if I could say that, right? A lot of people were very skeptical in the latter half of last year, the latter half of 2025, because, you know, rightfully so, things did not look great for Tokon. I don't know what it is between the devs and the community. Something was always going like wrong. Something just wasn't getting communicated one way or another, but that's seemingly been fixed, and ever since then, it's been looking very good for Tokon, and I just hope, man, I hope this continues. I hope it's the same when the game launches, with patches and stuff like that, with community discussions with the devs of some kind, and we just continue to make sure that this game is as good as it can be when it comes out, because that's what I want, right? Even if this game doesn't end up being my cup of tea, which I really doubt, right? I think I'm gonna love this game. Even if it doesn't become my cup of tea, I just hope that this game succeeds, because it'll show Marvel that fighting games still work in the big 2025. That's like the important message that needs to be heard. Marvel fighting games can exist in the year 2026 and on, right? That's like the moral of this story. And I just hope, man, I hope they could hear that.